Hang in there, everybody. We'll get everything rocking and rolling here, but welcome in to It's Your Move. Stick around. It's going to be a good one. January the 18th, Martin Luther King Day. Right here, 21.6 the net. Quiet on the set. We're getting ready to go right live. It's Monday evening, and that music can only mean one thing. It's Your Move. Your Move is a show that tackles current events. You get my take on it. Me? Well, I'm Kent Jones, founder, CEO of DDOE Enterprises, Inc., home of 21.6 The Net. Of course, it's Your Move, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Mobile Accounting. Experience, education, character, and inherent ability with numbers. An exceptional CPA. These are the reasons why business owners and people choose Eric Mason of Mobile Accounting for their payroll and tax services. Mobile Accounting, 224-321-6859. Check them out at www.mobile.tax. All right, so let's get this show on the road, folks. We will play some good music, have some fun, and you just may learn a thing or two before we're done. Let's dive in. Oh, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Well, at least here in America. And you know what? I suppose I'm not even sure, I guess, if other countries celebrate the life and struggle of Dr. King. But I suppose that you would think that I would discuss some of the works that Dr. King did, but that would be too easy. And that's not what we do here on It's Your Move, because when it's your move, it's not always easy. Instead, what I want to do here on this January the 18th, 2021, is look at another great leader and see if he was prophetic for today's world. So let's take a look at a few quotes from none other than Master Yoda. Yep, that's correct. Was Yoda a prophet for what was going on in the world today? Good question. So let's start with this one. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Now, let me say that again. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Now, as we look at the world today, there's so much anger, so much hate. Just right here in America alone, people hate their neighbor because of a simple letter in front of their name. Yeah, they either have an R or a D. So what is it going to come, let me rephrase that thought. So what is going to come from this hate for one another? What's going to happen? Well, hate, of course, will lead to suffering. Well, I mean, take a look at some war-torn countries around the world. Buildings are destroyed. Simple infrastructures torn apart. Families are split. Businesses shuttered. And the government is making martial law a way of life. And people just plod along, accepting what they're given, and they strive to live another miserable day. The suffering is unbearable, and there's no end in sight. So, why have we allowed fear to lead to anger, and anger to hate, and hate to suffering? Well, fear, after all, is false evidence appearing real. It's a story that we've made up in our own mind. We try to see the future or live into the future, and we can't do that. We just can't do that. That's what creates fear. Because we're not living in the present. We're not present. Let's see.
I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams, belonging by a million screams. But I can hear the marching feet moving into the street. Now did you read the news today? They say the danger's gone away, but I can see the fire still alight, burning into the night. There's too many men, too many people making too many problems, and there's not much left to go around. Can't you see this is a land of confusion? This is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. Use them and let's start trying to make it a place worth living in. Oh, Superman, where are you now? When everything's gone wrong somehow. The men of steel, these men of power, are losing control by the hour. This is the time, this is the place, and we love for the future. There's not much left to go around. Tell me why this is a land of confusion. This is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. Use them and let's start trying to make it a place worth living. Yeah. I remember long ago, when the sun shining, all the stars were bright, all through the night, in the wake of this madness, as I held you tight, so long ago. I won't be coming home tonight. My generation will put it right. We're not just making promises that we know we'll never keep. There's too many men, too many people making too many problems, and there's not much left to go around. Can't you see this is a land of This is the world we live in. And these are the hands we're given. Use them and let's start trying to make it a place worth fighting for. This is the world we live in. And these are the names we're given. Stand up and let's start showing just where our minds are going to.
Oh, Land of Confusion by Disturbed. Absolutely phenomenal song. Good for today. How about this quote? Silence is not simply calmness or quietude. Over all words and thoughts, it implies transcendence, a state of beyond, a state of pervasive peace it denotes. Silence is not simply calmness or quietude. Over all words and thoughts, it implies transcendence, a state of beyond, a state of pervasive peace it denotes. Isn't this the truth? There is so much noise everywhere we turn. When and where are we supposed to find time to just sit in silence and figure all this shit out? All channels that you are tuned into have sound bites and snippets about things that will keep you angry and on the edge. Hell, you can't even scroll through your Facebook news feed without having a quote unquote friend who has posted something that pisses you off. But it is so hard to put your phone down, turn off your computer, unplug. So how do we turn down or off all this noise so that we can just see what's real? Where is it coming from? Try these tricks to help you transcend into silence. After all, it's a state of pervasive peace. First thing you need to do, and try this tonight, but the first thing you need to do, and listen to what I'm going to tell you, go out and buy a $5 or $10 alarm clock. Put that back into your bedroom. Get your phones, get your laptops, your iPads, your tablets, everything that connects to the internet. Get them out of your bedroom at night when you sleep. Get rid of them. Keep them in a room where no one spends time during the night. Let them charge, let them do their thing. Unbeknownst to you, when you're sleeping and your smartwatch or your phone, bzz, 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 even though you have it silenced, those alerts and everything are still getting into your subconscious mind, and it doesn't allow for you to silence. Watch, that just watch the difference in how much more rested you are by moving all those. Get an old-fashioned alarm clock if you can't get up on time. Here's another thing to try. Eat your lunch and dinner without being in front of your phone or computer. Stop work. Take a deep breath. Don't have your face in your phone, scrolling through your news feed, doing whatever, checking your emails, whatever. Watch how much better your food tastes and how much more you enjoy that short break. Lastly, find a way to get off the grid at least 2 times each year. Just totally unplug and do not have any electronics around. Find a way just to be in silence. Now, for me, I do that. I get out a couple times a year. I go out into the woods and I don't have any cell reception, or if I do, I turn off the phone. But what I'm able to do is find time to just sit and be silent. Take my shoes off, ground myself, come back to center. Find an incredible way just to be silent.
with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stared by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs and voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words and I might teach you. Take my arms and I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops fell, echoed in the wells of silence.
Of course, that was The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. And then our good friend, well, Thomas Dolby thought he would jump back in there. Yeah, Thomas, we had you last week. So good stuff. Good stuff. Absolutely love Sound of Silence, the original. But Disturbed, maybe you're catching a little bit of my hint here with Disturbed tonight. And yeah, Sound of Silence. Quote, in a dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge lights our way. Unquote. In a dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge lights our way. Now, this past week, I had a virtual conversation, as many of you have virtual conversations on Messenger, on text, on whatever. But for whatever reason, we didn't hear each other's voice. We didn't take time to talk with one another. So when I say that we had a virtual conversation, well, that's exactly what we did. And it was an old friend, longtime friend. Now, the anger that has swelled up in this person was so loud that they could not even carry on and read my entire comments. They were just so angered that a simple conversation can't be had. You know, people today can't even be silent for a few seconds while someone is talking with them. Just yesterday, my family and I were doing a little bit of furniture shopping, and we went to Bob's Discount Furniture down in Schaumburg. And on one side of the street, we've got protesters protesting for one president. And on the other side of the street, we've got protesters supporting President-elect. Well, as you can imagine, as we pull up to the corner and these people are just shouting back and forth to each other. All these people over here want to do is be heard, and they want to yell, "Here's why I'm right." And everybody on the other side of the street at the same time is yelling back, saying, "Here's why I'm right." And nobody is taking the time to listen. Instead, they're formulating a comeback, wondering how they can change your mind or get you to believe that they have the correct answers. You know, the weird thing about this conversation that I was having with this longtime friend was that this person had no idea at all, that we were on the same team, that we believed in the same things. And no matter how many times I said that, they still wanted to fight with me. They're just looking for an argument. What these people need is a little more knowledge to light their way. How do we get that? I mean, people, you're so quick to be pissed off and argue all the time. We go back to the first quote, right? I mean, come on. How do we get knowledge to light our way? Where we're at today, 2021, how do we get knowledge to light our way? Well, you, me, we have to gain it. But how do we do that, Kent? Well, take a look at what you believe to be true. The stance that you take, the one that you're so passionate about that you'll stand on a corner and yell across the street. Take that stance. Okay? And then try to defend that stance or the opposing stance. So then go over onto the other corner and try to yell back on why they're yelling. Stop and take a listen. If you can, so you got to be able to defend both sides of the conversation. Knowledge is not one-sided. Knowledge is well-rounded and can defend all positions. Maybe I would think differently if I put myself in their shoes over there. What are they passionate about? Why are they so passionate about it? Let me try to understand. See, knowledge is having the wisdom to not forget wrong from right. Knowledge is looking for that little glimmer of light to show us the path we need to take. But as we discussed last week, we want the quick answer. I want to tell you why your opinion is wrong. Your opinion is not knowledge. Your opinion is wrong. And I have the facts to prove that your opinion is wrong. Well, we've allowed ourselves to stop researching. We've allowed ourselves to stop listening. We've allowed ourselves to get mad and fight with one another. You know, you ever remember when you were a kid and you got into a fist fight with your buddy, and about 2 weeks later, you're like, what did we even fight for? What was that about? When you're so enraged, when you're so angry, nothing good comes out of it because you're just running off of pure chemicals and adrenaline. But what we need to do is we need to stop. We need to get a little bit of knowledge. I need to understand. I need to know why. If I'm going to have a debate, you go back to debate team too. If I'm going to have a debate with you, I better know where your stance is so that I can defend my stance, so we can have a debate. Because if you bring up a point that I can't cover, I don't understand, you win. And well, the fact of the matter is, we're in a dark place we find ourselves. A little more knowledge will light the way.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now. Thanks for all of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Bright, sunshiny day. Yeah. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yeah. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Bright Sunshiny Day by Jimmy Cliff. Always a good one. And of course, if you got a little bit of knowledge, that'll light the path. Whew. So, was Yoda a prophet for the world today? Well, orchestra, I need a little help. Well, let's figure this out. Quote, fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. In a dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge lights our way. So what we all need to do is find some silence, because, well, silence is not simply calmness or quietude. Over all words and thoughts, it implies transcendence, a state of beyond, a state of pervasive peace. It denotes. I don't know if he was a prophet, but if you take these quotes, take a look at your life today, take a look at the world around you today, perhaps, just perhaps, he was right. There's a lot of fear in the world today, and that leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. You see that everywhere we turn. Hate leads to suffering. Take time. Love your neighbor as yourself. The golden rule: do unto others as you want done to you. In a dark place we find ourselves, a little more knowledge. Take time to learn and defend the opposing view from what you have. It'll make you more rounded on where you stand and in your beliefs, but it'll help you also understand that person that you're having that conversation with. And find time for silence in your life. Teach your children to unplug. Step away from the electronics. Read a book. Do nothing, for crying out loud. Those are the good things. So this is going to be a weird week, especially here in America with the shift of powers. But you know what? I've done what I could do here. Now it's your move.